Hi guys, well, it's time to talk about that really uncomfortable conversation. You probably seen on social media a lot of people talking about how they don't want to have any kids. And some of them even go as far as being very insulting and aggressive about the topic. Let's go ahead and take a look at what some of them have to say about that.
Possible unpopular opinion, I don't want kids, and you shouldn't either, nigga. Matter of fact, you need to stop having kids. Every time I tell somebody that, specifically my peers or friends, they be like, oh, well, why you want kids? Nigga, why do you? I feel like all the people that's having kids should not be passing them genes on, buddy. You barely graduated high school. You're hurting us, literally. We got niggas voting. I asked a nigga last week, bro, who you vote for? He said the red side. I said, what they call? I don't know, the red side. Niggas is gangbanging via vote.
I'm going to be real with you guys on this one because the amount of nonsense coming out of this guy's mouth is just incredible. So I don't care personally if you have children or don't have children, but you don't have to be so rude about it, right? Like, you do realize that you are the product of a mother and a father who decided to have you. And like, you're literally calling your mother low IQ for having you, because I mean, he doesn't even realize the words that are coming out of his mouth. I just think it's so crazy how he doesn't even realize what he's saying. And I mean, when he says, I feel like the people who are having kids shouldn't be passing on their genes because they didn't even graduate high school. Like, what does that even have to do with that? Like, with anything, right? Like, there's literally people who are very successful, millionaires, billionaires, who never graduated high school, and they have a bunch of kids and they're successful. Like, I just don't understand his point with the whole high school thing. And so, okay, so you're literally saying that the people that are having children are so dumb that they are actually expanding their lineage, but you are so smart that you're literally ending it with you. Just doesn't make any sense. But let's keep watching.
Friend that's in therapy to this day because they mama think they should pay them back for the 9 months that they carried them. That bitch is slow. The air is sometimes bad, food is sometimes bad, water is sometimes bad. Niggas, everybody gets an opinion. Mind you, niggas is getting opinions even on topics that they not educated on. We just found out what black fatigue was. Mind you, it's just racism. Everything boils down to racism, unfortunately. But wait, there's more. Global warming. That's a thing. Only way I think people should start having kids again is if it's a mandatory IQ test. Because you niggas is stupid. We need to stop asking each other, why don't you want kids? And start asking each other, why do you want kids? What's a valid reason to bring a kid in this world? Because y'all just be just bunny fucking everybody. Having a kid knowing that you're already cooked without a kid is crazy work. Nigga, you can't afford a McGriddle from McDonald's and you think you can afford a kid? That's stupid. You're slow. I'm sorry, buddy. You're cooked. I think it's dumb. And then mind you, it's not even your fault that you can't afford the McGriddle. A French fry from McDonald's is $6. A large French fry from McDonald's is $6. There's somebody uncle sucking dick for $6.
All right, guys. So what kind of nonsense is coming out of this guy's mouth? Wouldn't you want to have children if you have the means for it? Like, if you're able to afford them, wouldn't you want to have children? And if you're so smart as he says he is, then he should be actually the one wanting to have more children, because that way he's, DNA or whatever will live forever. And then that way there will be more smart people in this world. But let's go ahead and keep watching because it gets really interesting.
Especially if you ugly, stop having kids. Also, if you got like some weird disease, weird disability, stop having kids. Like, I feel like people don't say, like, because everybody's so scared to hurt somebody's feeling, people are not saying what they should be saying. If you have some genetic mutation, stop passing that along. Like, that's how natural selection works. Y'all used to not make it, so then the next generation didn't have to deal with that. But because everybody's having kids, we gotta deal with it. Now I got fucking Super Saiyan sickle cell because my great grandpa was being freaky and he wasn't supposed to be.
Okay. So he's literally talking about racism right now, just like a couple seconds ago. And then he's literally discriminating against people who have disabilities and have children. Like, dude, like, that's so disrespectful, period. Like, I don't care about your views about children at this point anymore, right? And like, he's talking about natural selection. Well, I guess he's going to literally extinct his lineage because he wants to stop it with him instead of continuing it. Like, yes, dude, that's why people have children, because they want their family, their legacy to keep going. That's the whole point. So, like, I don't understand. It's like the common sense just goes out the wall. And I don't understand how they cannot see it. They're literally here because a human, a mother, wanted to have them so that they could have this experience in this world and be able to be saying all this stuff that they're saying online, literally. And I mean, at this point, like, oh God, right? How are we going to survive with all these people who have all the brains if they're just going to not even have children? Like, how has this world survived all this centuries without them? It's just incredibly dumb what he's saying. But actually, I wanted to show you guys something, because I feel like a lot of people seem to be like confused about what the population in the United States is. I know that this topic is worldwide, right? But I feel like a lot of people, especially in the United States, they feel like that, like they don't want to have children anymore because there's just too many people, blah, blah, blah. But at least I can talk about the United States. I don't know about the other countries, right? But if you just do a quick Google search, it says the US population is projected to decline after 2080, reaching a peak of nearly 370 million before declining to 366 million in 2100. This decline is attributed to lower fertility rates, an aging population, and potentially reduced immigration, although the specific timing and extent of the decline depends on various factors. And then it says, since 1990s, the U.S. population growth has been declining. 2000 was the last year during which year-over-year population growth was above 1%, and the U.S. Census Bureau does not anticipate that population growth will exceed that level again. So, I mean, I think like we're just confused, right? Like, for some reason, we are being told that we are just too many in this world, that we need to, chill it with the birth rates. But I mean, that's not what science is showing. Like, we're literally declining in population. And I feel like also it has to do with just like everyone being crammed in one area, right? Like, we all want to live in downtown. We all want to live in the city. But I mean, have you guys even like drove around? Like, you go from one place to the other and there's just miles and miles of like land. Like, there's just so much space still. But people think for some reason that we're just, becoming overpopulated. No, what is happening is they're actually putting us in this small contained areas where we're just literally trampling on top of each other because there's no space in the area where we are. But trust me, there's still plenty of space in this world. And, that's just outrageous how they think about this world, period. But let's go ahead and move to the next one and see what this next guy has to say about not wanting to have children. And especially his reasons for it.
So I'm 31, I'm single, and I don't have any kids. Neither do I want any kids. And this is the conversation that I was having a couple days ago with a very close friend of mine. Love him. Super close friend of mine. He was telling me, look, bro, you're young. You're only 31. You might change your mind. So never say never. You might meet that one girl who just sweeps you off your feet and you think, okay, now I want kids. And I was like, no, actually, no, bro, because I know exactly how I am. I am extremely self-aware. I know that having a child or having children, I'd be tripping all day, stressed all day, 24/7. Where are they? Who are they with? Where are they at? Why are they there? The list goes on.
Normal. Yes. So that's literally what being a good parent is, right? Like you're literally constantly paranoid about your children because they're your children. You want to care for them. You're not going to just be careless. I mean, I understand there's some people, some parents that are careless, but that's the whole point. Like when you are a parent, a good parent, it's normal to feel that way. There's nothing wrong with that. And I actually think he will be a great parent if he feels that way.
But primarily, the reason as to why I don't want kids, the main reason is because, all right, when I was a little kid, I would ask my mom about pregnancy. I was like 10, 11 years old. And I would ask her, what is it like to have a kid? What is it, what does it feel like? Does it hurt? What's it like? What's the experience like? And she would tell me that it was the worst pain that anyone can go through. Childbirth, child pains, birth pains, and all that stuff, right? And she would tell me that it was excruciating pain. And immediately I thought to myself, I was like, if I ever get older and if I ever get married or I get with someone, I'm not going to want to put them through that. Right away, I was like, why would I want to put the love of my life through such pain? No thanks. Nah, baby, I ain't putting you through that kind of pain. If you want kids, have them. But I'm not going to be the guy that's going to watch you there through the 9 months with your feet swollen, your back hurting, your arms hurting, your whole body in pain. You think I want to see you in that kind of pain?
Oh my God. Dude, like, I would totally understand if you're traumatized that your mother told you at 9 years old that her birth or her birthing you was so painful. Like, even I would be traumatized. Like, I mean, really, his mom messed him up on that one, right? Because, I mean, I can't imagine telling my daughter that. It's just ridiculous. And look, not all pregnancies are the same, okay? Like, not all pregnancies are going to be painful. Not all pregnancies are going to be just miserable. There's a lot of pregnancies that are actually really good. There's just a really good experience involved with being pregnant. But, I mean, I remember when I had my daughter. Yes, I was scared. And yes, when I was birthing her, I was also very scared. And, when the time came when I was actually pushing and everything, I promised that I was never going to have children again. And I was so pissed. I was ready to kill someone or, I was like, I'm just done with this and all of this. But you know what? Once she was born, like her little face, just touching her, knowing that she was there, like all of the pain and all the bad thoughts and everything that my head was just like racing through while I was having her, it just went away. It literally went away. And a lot of people that don't have children, they won't understand what the feeling is. They say a lot of things about how people tell them like, you would never know. But literally, that's not even taken lightly. Like literally, you would never know for real. Like you would never know until you're a mother because your body actually is kind of like your body produces, all kinds of chemicals that you are just not yourself anymore. Like you don't have any control of your body. Once your child is born, everything changes. Whatever pain you just felt goes away. I kid you not, I literally had episodes where I would just forget things. And I think it was just like my body producing oxytocin, which is like, it's kind of like a chemical so that it kind of makes you forget about like traumatizing moments and stuff. So yes, having a child is not easy. And, this is a real challenge that you take on. But I do feel that, having a child is kind of like a new episode in your life. You're not going to be the same person that you were before. Not at all. So you are pretty much committing to a new episode of your life where you're not going to know what's going to happen. You're just going to be going with the ride and then just going with the flow. But I mean, like I said before, like a lot of people talk about how they're so scared about giving birth. Stop asking other people how bad it was for them. Why don't you ask how good it was for them? The good parts of being a parent, right? Because they focus so much on the negative aspect of it. And you shouldn't be focusing on that. You should be focusing on the good side, because just, having a child is very, very life-changing. But it's not life-changing on the bad side. It's life-changing on the good side. And sometimes when you don't have your shit together, having a child will literally make you have your shit together. If you are a responsible person, period. So you will be surprised what your bodies will do. Your bodies are very, very perfect, okay? And in moments when you need what you need to survive, your body will do things that you would never imagine otherwise. And that's what literally happened to me, okay? So after all that promising while giving birth that I was not going to have another child, now I'm contemplating again having another child because you forget. It's your body produces oxytocin or whatever chemical it is that makes you forget about it, about the pain itself. Obviously, you still remember everything that happened, but it just makes you forget about how painful it was at the moment. And I mean, honestly, nowadays, you can just get a C-section and you pretty much are going to be sedated throughout the whole, thing. So you won't even feel anything. So, I mean, I just think it's a lot of excuses and people need to just get over it, right? And I mean, you will never realize like how important it is to be a parent. I feel like being a parent is literally another chapter of your life. Like that's part of like a natural chapter of our lives. And so we kind of evolutionize into that, right? Like, and then after being a parent, there's another thing coming. We just kind of keep going through life, going through different, phases of our life pretty much. But, to each their own. Let's go ahead and keep watching.
And especially when you're giving birth. I don't want to put my woman through that pain. I'm sorry, but I just don't.
All right. We had enough of you. Okay, we understand. You want to be the nice guy. You want to be the prince. You don't want us to, or you don't want women to suffer. That's okay. Totally understandable. I'm just going to let you know, though, that women are really strong and women can actually take a lot of pain. And some people don't even realize how strong, like some women don't even realize how strong they are until you're literally giving birth. So, I mean, just saying, let's go ahead and move on.
So I don't think I want to have kids like ever in life, okay? And the reason why is because I don't have what I feel like is a valid reason to have a child. I feel like majority of times when I talk to people or ask people why it is that they want to have kids, like the people that are very adamant, like I always wanted to have a kid since I was young, and I ask them why, it's always a very deeply selfish, narcissistic reason. For instance, if you ask any man right now why they want to have a kid, majority of the time they're going to say something about their lineage or carrying on their family name, like Johnson. You want to carry on Johnson? Okay, that's your business. I'm not even going to say anything, but that's the name you want to carry on. Like, do you think that you're Carnegie Mellon? Like, what are you actually going to give to that kid? Some debt and emotional trauma? I think they'll be okay with that.
Yes, that's literally why people have children, so that you could be alive right now saying all those things. But I mean, I don't even understand what she means with like passing down debt to them. Like, what does that even have to do with anything? Like, why is it always so black and white with them, right? It's like, when it comes to children, it's just like all these excuses. I mean, like, don't forget that you were once a child. Like, you're here living, experiencing this life again because somebody gave you the opportunity. Like, come on. And, you can say whatever you want and do whatever you want. But I personally think that after a certain age, we just, it's just naturally. We just naturally start feeling like very nurturing. We just start having these feelings that we want to have somebody that we can, take care of. That's just a natural thing. At least that's what happened with me. I guess there's some people that never get those feelings, but I think for the majority of the people, that's what happens, because it just comes to a point where like you're done with partying, you're done with like whatever it is that you were doing in the fast life, and you just kind of want to settle down. You want to have a family. You want to have your own thing going on. And I mean, I understand that maternity is not for everyone, right? But I mean, I just think it's so sad how some people do really want to be parents, but they just physically can't. And then there's people like this who, just go out there and say all these crazy things. And, they're just very disrespectful about the fact of having children. And they just take it for granted, right? They just take it for granted. But I guess that's how life is. Let's go ahead and keep watching.
Or I can't stand behind the people that's like, I never knew love until I had a kid. Babes, it's called therapy. Yeah. You need to talk to a person, a real person about it, not your 5-year-old kid. He don't care. He looking up at you asking, Mommy, when am I going to watch Paw Patrol? And the people that get me the most are the people that are like, I just really needed somebody that was never going to leave me. Whoa! Whoa! It's called a puppy. It's called a cat. It's called a snake. You needed a pet. You didn't need a kid. You needed a pet. So that's why I don't think I ever want to have kids. I can't think of one legitimate reason that's non-selfish and narcissistic to have a kid.
Okay, with all of that said, I think it's better for her to literally not even have kids at this point, right? And I mean, how do you compare loving a kid with like going to therapy or like an animal, right? It's not even the same thing. This is literally how you can tell when somebody is not a mother and they have never really experienced real love in their lives, just because of the way she's literally expressing herself, right? And I mean, until you become a mother, you will never understand what it feels like, period. I don't care what people say. You just will never know until you are in that moment, in that circumstance. You will not know. It's literally, when you become a mother, is literally that person, that little person out there is a representation of you. So if you love yourself, you will love that child like nothing else in this world, okay? And I guess there is people who don't love themselves, and I can see how some people cannot love their children. But if you love yourself and you have a child, you're going to protect that child with everything you've got, because it's just how it is. That's a little mini you right there. Like it's just, the feeling is very, very inexplicable. Like you can't really tell somebody how it feels until you're there, you're experiencing it. But let's keep watching.
I don't want kids. Those little fucking shits take all your money. You have to send it to school, and then you gotta worry about other kids being mean to your kids. Like, I will really fight. You have to wake up whenever your kid wakes up. I like to wake up at noon, at 1 p.m. sometimes, like 3 sometimes even. Judge me. You gotta cook for that little shit. I don't even want to cook for myself. I'm trying to travel. I'm trying to see the world. You could do both. You could have kids and travel. No! Like, I see people traveling with young kids and I'm just like, oh my God, I would get so overstimulated. I'm not a patient person. I have 2 nieces and I mean, that's good enough for me. I'm just trying to be the rich, cool auntie, you know? The main reason I don't want to have kids is because I have a huge heart. What's the word? Is it empath or empath? I'm that though. I was at Disney one time and there was this little cute boy in front of me in line for a ride with little glasses, and I started tearing up because I just felt so bad, because I just know kids are so mean. My heart cannot deal. My heart will just explode of hurt and worry and like just the world we live in, you know? Like, it's a sick world. Also, birth scares the absolute shit out of me. I can't. Although I would love to see what a little mini me would look like. Like, oh my goodness, maybe I'll have a kid.
Guys, so I mean, it sounds like she will be a great mother, right? Like, it literally sounds like what being a mother is. Like, I mean, I remember when I was 22, I didn't want to be a mother. But like I said before, there's just a point in your life when you just come to terms that is like, you just kind of feel like you need to nurture. Like, it just happens. Like, it's very, very inexplicable. Like, it's just a time in your life where you know you're just ready. And I think that's why a lot of people, they just start having dogs and cats and all this stuff. But it's because it's kind of like your body saying it's time to nurture. Come on, it's time to nurture. But, most of the people in these videos and the ones that are, being very loud about this topic, they're literally in their 20s. And I feel like, they're still very young, and I'm sure that most of us can agree that we're not the same person we used to be 2 years ago. We're not the same person we used to be in our 20s or whatever. Like, we're going to be constantly changing our minds and constantly going through different situations where life is just going to take us where it's going to take us. Like, I just think it's so funny how they reassure and they're so sure and they say all these things like, for sure, I'm never going to have kids. You're never going to catch me having kids, right? But like, things can happen. You don't know what's gonna happen in the future, literally. There's probably things that you did when you were younger that you're probably not too proud of them now. And you might change your mind. But I'm not here to change nobody's mind. I'm just giving my opinion. But with that, guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next one. Bye.